It's the day of the Queen's state funeral, and Julia and I are following up a video we made where we walked into our town in Worthing and had a look to see what the state of play is. It's just after midday, after the main ceremony has happened in London, and whilst we're not in London, we thought we'll see if life is coming back to normal after this 10-day period of mourning.
However many days it was.
Yeah, I think it was 10, something like that.
Traditionally it would have been, but...
And it's a Monday, so it's quite strange on a Monday to see the streets
so empty.
Yeah, cleared of everything, and fantastic for filming because it's quiet. Well, of course, since the day after the Queen's death, where we had a look round and there wasn't a huge amount of recognition, I think mainly because people were a bit stunned and didn't know what to do. Since then, of course, there's been a lot more shop fronts that have actually put condolences in their windows, which has been very nice to see. And overall, I think the nation has been mourning the loss of the great Queen. I just think it just took people a lot longer than I originally expected.
Absolutely. I mean, it's possible that some people hadn't even heard by that point. Can't imagine how, but...
Yeah, I mean, it must have been on all over social media and on the news, but some people do live under stones. There's definitely a feeling now, after the main service, that life is slowly opening up again. I stepped out of the house at something like 8 o'clock this morning just to see, because it was a Monday and there was barely a car, barely anybody, being a bank holiday, of course. And then I thought, what are people going to do if they're not that interested in watching the procession and the funeral and the services? What will they do? Because most shops are shut out of respect. And, you know, they'll perhaps go on walks, perhaps they'll do some stuff at home, DIY, because what do you do on a bank holiday? But there was nobody. It was really dead. So I think that mostly the nation was in mourning and giving that final bit of respect.
Yeah.
And then now, as it's sort of coming towards lunchtime, I think a few places are beginning to open up and know that actually we can say long live the King and let's get on with our lives again.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a big sigh of relief, to be honest.
Yeah.
That we are back to some...
It's been a momentous historical moment.
Yes.
But a momentous historical moment. See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there too.
But yeah, I don't think I've even begun grieving yet. I think I'm going to be waiting till everything calms down, and then I'm going to be, oh my God, we have a king.
Yes.
Whoa!
Well, that part of it is going to be fascinating to see where and how Charles behaves, really.
Not that I'm upset that we have a king. I'm glad we have a king.
No,
but, that we don't have a queen anymore.
No.
And I'll never know another queen in my lifetime.
No.
Well,
No.
Prime.
No, will I?
Monarch, yeah.
Not another queen.
No.
We were criticised in our last video when we were filming because we went around looking for a cup of tea and a bun, and we happened to stumble across some very nice cafes or restaurants that did a little bit more than just a tea and a bun. And looking at their menus in the windows, we realised that what they did was a bit too fancy for what we wanted at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't what we fancied. It was fancy, but not what we fancied.
Yes, we just
that was
wanted...
all we were saying.
Yeah,
we weren't saying they were rubbish or anything.
No, so we were criticised by somebody who said you should be giving the local cafes and businesses a chance, which of course we were.
Was exactly what we did.
We were just looking for somewhere very simple. In the end, of course, we went to Vita's, which is a fish and chip shop, and it has a little cafe and effectively a bun. But in the end, we had chips and you had a very simple meal.
It's not like we went to a franchise.
No, so I don't feel that we actually have to. We're not apologising we're just pointing out that sometimes people are hypercritical about things they...
Quick to judge, aren't they?
Yes. So, of course, a lot of places now are shut today, but the reason I mention all of that is Vita's, our favourite fish and chip shop, is open. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Noisy beggars, aren't they?
And just like that, the whole area there is clear again.
Yes, they've all gone. Thank goodness for that. No, it's nice to see people out and enjoying themselves, but sometimes motorbikes en masse so loud.
Well, they're noisy enough when it's just an individual bike, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose they can't. You know, electric motorbikes. Is that a thing? Can they get batteries?
I don't think they'd be that very effective, really, because they require a lot of power, don't they?
Yes. So you're never going to see electric motorbikes. But we might be corrected. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's going to say, oh no, Richard, you got that wrong, mate.
There's always someone.
We went on the pier last time, didn't we? Had a lovely time, and we went to a cafe and had some chips, which we may well do today, but perhaps we won't film that on this occasion.
It does seem that every time you have Vita's chips, it's on camera.
It's on camera, yeah, so we might do that. So people can't say I'm having lots of chips. But it's interesting walking along the prom, heading this way now, westwards towards Brighton. Not that we're going anywhere near that far. With the Dome Cinema on our left. And little cafes now, many more of them opening up today, as I guess the main event has happened and people are escaping from the screens and keeping up to date with what's been going on in London.
Getting a break from all the emotions, I guess.
I wonder, we're just coming up to the flags here at the end of Steen Gardens, which is a sort of recreational garden used for various events, and there's 4 flagpoles, still of course with the Union flag at half-mast, and I wonder when that will go back up, whether there'll be a continuing period of time when you fly the flag down, or once the Queen has been interred, and if, you know, does it stay down, or do we have to wait for the King to be coronated? Not coronated, that's like a chicken, isn't it? The coronation, crowned. Yeah, do we have to wait for the crown to go up? That's probably a moot point. And he's been instigated as king, hasn't he? But he hasn't been.
He's instantly king.
Instantly king.
The moment his mother died.
Yes, and he's acceded. Is that the word? Succeeded. Acceded to the throne. But he hasn't had ascended, yes. He's ascended.
He's ascended to the throne.
To the king. So I wonder, there'll be a crowning ceremony, won't there? Is that the coronation?
That would be the coronation, yes.
Yeah, I wonder when that is. I was told it might be next year, but I would have thought it would be sooner, but it may take time to organise. Who knows?
In this modern day and age, there's no hurry, because there's
traditions seem to be changing all the time, don't they?
People aren't vying for the job because it doesn't have ultimate power like it used to. So back in the medieval ages.
Yes.
So people were trying to, people who had a remote link to being on the
challenge.
throne,
Yes.
They were constantly trying to murder each other.
Yes, that's right.
We don't have that anymore, so we don't have to rush to crown our monarch.
To coronate.
It's soft power now.
Yes. Okay, so there's 5 of them, and I said 4 masts at half. I love these beach shelters that we've got here in Worthing. I think they're turn of the century. I think they're 1910, something like that. I used to think that they were more Victorian, but I was corrected, I think, by dear old Martin Snow, who I haven't seen for a long time.
Sounds about right, yeah.
He would know. And if you're watching, Martin, hello.
Hello.
But they are beautiful things, and
They echo the ones in Brighton.
do they? I love them because very much in Worthing, so much of the seaside architecture, that's something that just tells you you're by the sea and not in a urban environment, are still clinging on. And so much of Worthing and many of the towns now are being sort of blanded. The uglification of Britain is going on, in which, you know, those bits of stuff that define a town and what its purpose is just becoming more blander with the new builds and the new architectural styles that sometimes you think you could be anywhere. But these beach huts just say you're by the coast, and I think it's so important to keep them.
Absolutely.
Well, we couldn't resist. We've had to come back to get some chips, which
Had to be done.
Had to be done. And as we came in, we were hailed by a lovely couple,
Nigel and Mel.
Nigel and Mel,
Hello,
who happen
hello.
to be. I didn't ask them if they want to be filmed, but there they are.
He's so naughty.
I know. Who enjoy our channel, which is great. Somebody does. Could have somebody enjoying the channel. Right, shall we get some chips?
Yes, please.
Come on
let's.
then, march on. Yummy. Can't wait to eat again more chips on camera, just to prove to you that living by the seaside is just divine. Thank you very much, lovely Julia. Oh, and one of those sticks. So I just wanted to say this, get this off my chest. I watched a thing on YouTube where somebody was talking about King Charles's book, which is called Harmony. And it's a curious thing. A lot of people think that King Charles is a bit of a strange fella because of the beliefs he holds, and some of them might be. But there seemed to be, from what they were saying about what was in this book, which I looked up online and was £64, so I can't afford to buy it. There's a number of things that he thinks that we're doing wrong, or he did think, he's not allowed to say these things now, as he's king, and that we could be throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh.
Where
Well,
have we
I know
heard
someone
that?
else has said that a lot lately.
So
What could it possibly be?
I'm working on a thesis of a thing that I want to make a video about, which I will do later on when I've got it. But it was just interesting that the king is on my wavelength. Apart from,
And you thought you didn't have anything in common with him.
well, I don't have a lovely old car that's run on port wine or whatever it is that he's doing. And I don't believe in global warming as such. But apart from those two things,
Have you talked to trees?
yes, you introduced me to trees. And I told you what the names were.
Yes, you helped teach me how to identify them.
So, right, anyway, talking of that, we're
Let's
going to
eat.
get some potatoes that have been heated up and sliced and fried and yummified.
Not necessarily in that order.
No. They're crazy animals. Julia is trying to fend off the seagulls so that these spare chips she has got can go to these pigeons, because the seagulls bigger are just bullies.
The pigeons. Have at it. Quickly.
Well, the chips were nice,
They went down a treat.
and the entertainment on the seafront was rather jolly. Fighting off the seagulls,
Fighting off the bird, the gulls.
letting the pigeons do their thing. So we're going to head back now. I think we've seen pretty much that life is slowly coming back to normal now.
Returning into the landscape.
And it's nice that we've got some sunshine, although it's difficult to work out what to wear, but that's typical of autumn, isn't it?
It is, it is.
You never quite know. One minute it's too
Is it
hot.
cold? Is it hot?
Exactly.
Oh.
So we're going to head back and have a cup of tea and take it easy.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye for now.
Bye.